five-shot it. Did not miss. It didn't matter what. If he was no shield, you were getting 5. But anyways, falling. This is it. They've got to make this one work.
Get those shots. It's definitely going to have to be Talek, in my opinion. Or Manny grabbing the sniper rifle. That could be big. That could be big night.
Could be.
No.
You dead? Try not to let this play.
I got no beat on. Roll for those. Take a bomb. Oh, right there. Oh, phenomenal.
Helps to capture is now 84 points on the board. You're bound gonna play it slow.
Bottom sit down again. On the bridge, man.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Brandon Pettis, aka Louis V Titan. I am the founder and owner of LVT Productions, and today we have the Halo 5 Pro Series Season 3 Championship. There's $10,000 on the line, and I am excited because this is going to be one heated competition. I'm going to bring in my my TriCasters here. We got good old Alex Irwin, 99, and then Garrett O'Toole, Mr. Tools himself. 90, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. Today is the championship. This weekend is going to be exciting. We've got amazing Halo action coming up all weekend long, and we're starting it off hot. We've got some great matchups. I couldn't be happier.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and Garrett?
that's what's so great about championships, guys. Every match we have today is going to be a banger, right? We only have 8 teams, 2 pools, and basically 3 matches after pools are over. So, every single match today is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see the action.
Yeah, speaking of the action, we're going to give you guys 3 alternate coverage here. It's going to be 3 matches in pool play. First, we're going to start with Heart of the Cards and Flyers, and just keep in mind HCS is also live and they're covering different matches, so this is going to operate basically as a Bravo stream. We're going to be providing 2 different points of views at all times while we're live, and then be sure to join us after the tournament because we're going to be doing we're going to be trying something new. We're going to be trying our post-tournament wrap-up show. And guys, Nighty, tell me how you see that kind of playing out.
Well, first of all, I really want to hear from the players. I want to make sure that we dive deep into their attitude, where they're at, where they stand when the tournament's over. I want to talk with them and see what's going on, what their plans are for the future. We're starting to really get down to the wire where the grinding needs to start. Whenever I was a competitor back in the day, I was always ready for that next Halo, whether it was just grinding out the Halo previous, or just being, just getting myself set up personally, creating space in my life, and I want to see what's up with them and see how they're going to be doing that.
Absolutely. And Gary, speaking of our first match, Heart of the Cards versus Flyers, how do you see this playing out, man?
Well, we have 2 teams that have just insane talent on the rosters, and I think what's going to differentiate these teams is who can play their objective best, who's playing better as a team. We've seen tournament after tournament how Spartan can just take over games for Heart of the Cards. This is a newish roster. They played a little bit in season 1 and then they came back in season 3. They're like, hey, let's take another crack at it. And honestly, their records haven't been great because they haven't been able to close out versus the best teams. But when you look over at that KD, that's a recipe for success because they're able to hang with whatever team they're put in front. Even when it comes to the pro teams, it's just about finishing the fight. And if they can do that tonight, maybe we can see them crack a top 4 and make an upset.
Can I just give a shout out to our boy Mr. Snow for that amazing looking logo? I can't tell you how many times that I've seen it to where when I've been working in the open tournaments and there's a major team that has pros on it, and it'd be easy to just jump in paint or something and make something like that, but he makes it look so professional. That is so awesome. I'm just shout out to Mr. Snow. He put a lot of work and effort into these stat screens and the logo. He did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what, guys? There's actually somebody on the other side of this game. It's going to be Flyers. So, Gary, kind of fill us in on the Flyers here.
I mean, when we talk about objective, efficient teams, this is the team that we always go back to. The crew of commonly Envor, Septify, and Super CC evades. We saw them add 2 players. That Envor and Septify duo were added for season 3, and honestly, we've seen a huge uptick in their performance, and most notably their KD. Their slaying power was there where it wasn't before, back when they were playing with straight sig with a combination of different players acting as that fourth, such as Vetra and other ones. That the slaying ability just wasn't as present. Envor and Septify have made a huge difference, and I still have these guys as one of the best CTF teams, especially when it comes to those classic maps such as Truth or Coliseum. Coach Glaz in the background cooking up some successful recipes to make sure that their objective game remains on really the top out of the rest of the AM teams.
Absolutely. And speaking of this series, here's the series layout right here. CTF Coliseum, Regret, Slayer, Strongholds, Eden, Oddball, Fisher, and Slayer Plaza. Nighty, please fill me in on your thoughts here.
Well, the thing about this matchup is that they are 2 of the most even teams. I think when you're not, talking about the top of the top, when we're not talking about Sentinels versus Inconceivable, or we're not, talking about KCP. These guys right here, as far as pushing their way into the top 8, I think they have just an incredibly close stat line. Like when you look at how they match up against the top teams, I don't see them taking the series against the big 4, but against each other, this could not be any closer. This could definitely go down to a game 5. We could see an intense Slayer on Plaza. I am really hyped to see how this all wraps up.
Absolutely. And speaking of hype, get hyped, because CTF Coliseum, it's starting right now. Woo! Gary, Nighty, I'm giving it to you guys. You guys take over here. I'm going to get back to pressing buttons and observing. So please take us away.
CTF Coliseum is going to be so important for this Heart of the Cards roster. We talk about the strongest game type / map combination for this Flyers roster. You instantly think a Coliseum CTF. It feels like math, as if they're inputting numbers into a calculator when they play this game. We'll see what Spartan and the crew can do, as Sparty is already back down from the car lane. Cannot get those rockets, as the rockets go in the hands of Onboard. He's going to play safe with them, getting back to safety.
Septify, oh man, with the sniper, this is exactly what I want to see. If he can, oh man, unfortunate spawn there by Ryan. I was really hoping that he could get a better line of sight, get onto his flag and help out his team from there. The same old time you'll see Royal 2 or Frosty. You got to really fly into that cave and block that spawn. You can't just hang out on the ramp.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he could, and that's a power position, right? We see it so often where players sit right in front of that cave, get beautiful lines of sights, and get kills. But Ryan knew he was the player to take down the sniper in the beginning. He's going to be able to get his hands on it, but a little bit of a cursed sniper. And I think both teams kind of glad that's off the map now, as that it wasn't doing anyone any good. As we see, this is great from Heart of the Cards. They're starting to stabilize in their base. They felt immense pressure from the start, and they're finally gaining a little bit of a foothold, and we could start seeing our first push from Heart of the Cards in the base.
Yeah, with 2 down right now, they need to start making a push in. That was a great defensive play out of Super CC and his teammate there. They needed to get at least a trade, but they came out on top and were able to get a kill and some extra damage on the attackers pushing in from Heart of Cards. So that was a fantastic defensive play. Rain here, you're going to just try to get these slays, and once again, we're back into the same position. So Heart of Cards playing exceptionally well.
Right, we're seeing the opposite from Heart of the Cards that you would normally see from Flyers. They're going to opt to block out the snipe side and do that old 2016, 2017 sort of run. But we see Ryan Noob playing sneaky, trying to keep this flag away from the opposing team. He knows that they don't have their base yet, so I love this from him, right? Just stay where you are safe, even if it isn't necessarily where you want to end the flag out, because you can't afford to die without the help there. But Septify was able to grab those rockets, and he's breaking through. Spartan goes down, and Ryan Noob, now it feels as if this safety net, it feels a bit more of like a trap where he cannot get out, but his teammates are finding kills. And now look at that, I love that from Ryan Noob. He's pushing forward. He wants a one-on-one with the flag.
God, that is such good situational awareness. Like, right there is a perfect example of what makes the difference between a pro player and amateur, because he knew exactly what he needed to do with that objective. He knew exactly when to slay, when to drop it, and get aggressive. And now he's helping Name in here make some big plays, and that's going to be 4 down for Flyers.
Look at that. They're already in position to run another flag as well. That 4 down going to be critical to the success of Heart of the Cards, as they're going to be able to run another flag right away. And honestly, no pressure from Flyers to be felt. That's a quick 2 flags in about a 10-15 second succession for this Heart of the Cards roster. And look at that, it's the kill feed that has really made the difference on board. Yeah, I mean, dying with that sniper rifle, this looks as if it's all Heart of the Cards early on, and a surprising lack of success from this Flyers roster that we're so used to on this map.
That wingman medal from Name, he is just laying down some damage. He had a good position on the map, but he didn't do much with the sniper, and Septify is going to make his team pay for it. Getting a nice little double there. Name and Skeptify, they're kind of the new people on the block in the competitive scene in HCS. We haven't seen much from them in previous seasons, but now they're starting to make a much bigger role for themselves in the pro scene. They're showing that they have what it takes to be a big deal in Infinite.
Look at this. Commonly needs to win 2 big fights. Unfortunately, can only get 1, and the return is going to come in from Spartan, and he is running this flag through top rocks. Rain finds the kill on Commonly on the run. Is there anyone in position from Flyers to get there? I don't believe so. A quick 3-0 start from Heart of the Cards. A bit unexpected, to be honest, for me. I thought Flyers was going to put a bit more of a fight there, but perfect execution and the slaying prowess from Heart of the Cards really making the difference that time around.
What we saw from Flyers were so many individual plays that were great, that worked out in their favor, but nothing was taken advantage of. They weren't capitalizing on a single position that they had. Even when they were able to get some really crucial slays, Heart of the Cards would immediately focus down on the most important players, take them out, and it was a wrap from there. Heart of Cards absolutely on a different level today. They've been so good as far as their growth. Like, every single time we've seen them play, they've been better than the previous.
Yeah, it's honestly a surprise when we saw them in the open, right? They didn't qualify in the first open, and here they are. They come back, they play stronger, they get a little bit more reps in, they look more like their 2017, 2018 selves. And they're running flags well. They're playing the map well. They're knowing when the collapses are suitable, and they're making quick work out of what a lot of people consider to be the best amateur team in this bracket.
Game number 2. This is the Slayer game. This is the game type where you expect the weaker teams to come out on top, but when it comes to these 2 teams, there really isn't a weaker team in my mind. They're just too equal. So this is definitely going to be a back and forth for sure. Not sure who got that OS. It looks like it possibly was burned.
It was burned by Spartan.
Yeah,
so Spartan
perfect.
went for the grab. He got burned right away, and that gave the bit of an advantage to the Flyers off the start. But Spartan looking for some revenge. He's taking a 1-on-2 at this card war, and perfect shots on Septify sat him down, and he's already looking for the second. Can't hit those shots, but man, Spartan getting out of a sticky situation there. His pistol, one of the best in the games.
Yeah, everybody says it. Like, he is definitely the hardest individual to outshoot, other than maybe like Royal 2, you know, just the machine that he is. But Spartan is a guy that is really difficult to play against. He's a super slayer, and he's always been that way. But he's been out of the game a little bit recently. He hasn't been putting in the time that he usually puts. But now I think he's at the best we've seen him. He's been putting the time in, and oh my God, almost a reversal there. Got Commonly weak enough for his teammate to help him. Spartan looking great.
Yeah, Spartan, I mean, that was an absolute terror. He burns the overshield off the start, and then he puts everyone from Flyers on notice. And you can know he went through 3/4 of the map, basically, right? He started his life all the way up Blue Pea Street, made his way through Red, found a couple more kills, and eventually ended his life all the way at Red Car. You know, you don't normally see lives last that long to have that much momentum and movement in their life. But as all this is happening, man, Heart of the Cards, they got trapped in their base. The collapse is coming in. Flyers finding a couple more kills, and they've really just been able to maintain that 3 to 4 kill lead. Oh, my Name almost killed the onboard. This is one thing from Flyers, then they need to start executing on the easy kills. They're making my heart palpitate every single time I see them getting an easy fight.
Great shots. Going to jump out and get the chow, but Septify doesn't land the final shot. That's a nice little 1v1 we saw from the newcomers to the scene. We see the OS is up, going to be grabbed, and now this is going to be a big play for Name here. This is very important. Oh my god, the damage being put down by Skeptify. It's just a 1v1 between these two young guns here. There's so much I could say about Name. I met him at a LAN, actually, and I was so impressed with his ability to lead teams. He's a very good in-game leader. But obviously on this team, he's playing with 3 vets who are tournament winners, and, you know, he's not going to really have that confidence probably. So I'm looking to see in the future if he's able to bring that to the table, even when he's playing against the best of the best or with the best of the best, you know, because sometimes it's hard to be like, hey, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. But that's really what separates the top pros. Like, you hear Frosty's, he's not the most, you know, he hasn't been in the league, or he hasn't been competing nearly as long as the rest of his team, but he barks orders to them all the time. He's like, Lethal, what are you doing? And that's what I want to see from Its Name, because Its Name has the ability. This kid is sick.
There we go. A collapse just came in. Heart of the Cards finally able to pry Flyers out of that top position, and now the momentum shifting more towards them as all the Flyers have to find a way to break out of this red base, and they opt to push the peace side, yin and yang, basically, to the Heart of Cards option of pushing through the car. We're seeing it trade out evenly for now, as commonly falls from the pistol of Ryan Noob. Name pushing forward, trying to find this last kill on Super CC. Will get the assist in, and this is not looking great for Flyers. They're starting to get collapsed and just rotated on, being put on a cycle, as Name once again gets up to this P spot, and he hits a perfect nade on Commonly.
That was so good. Oh my god, Dave is having one heck of a game. That is an amazing killing spree out of him, and that got his team back into this one. Ryan Noob with the OS. This is perfect. He's going to get that kill with hardly any damage, so that allows him to take this fight, and he's going to grab it. Excellent double out of him. And now we're going to start some momentum. Like you said, the cycle is starting. That's exactly what you want to do on these maps like the Truth and like Regret. You just want to make sure that you are keeping that top middle control. You're getting into their spawns, and that is what is happening. Heart of Cards are starting to collapse on each one of their spawns. Spartan comes in, but he's not going to be able to grab it. Double kill from Super CC. That was fantastic.
Yeah, now he's alive, and he's still pushing forward, right? He has no fear. And look at this. They spawn right on top of him. Spartan's coming back for the business once again. He knows not to challenge that this time around, and he's going under the Super CC. Hear it or see it. I don't think he does. He could have a potential back smack in a second. He finds one, and Spartan should be coming out. Spartan gets caught out, and Spartan dies, and the collapse is in. 3 go down for Heart of the Cards. Flyers, man, they have these moments where they look like they're getting dominated, but they always keep the game close enough so that when they get their spree, they get themselves a bit of a lead. They've been able to maintain a close distance even when the game wasn't going in their direction, and it's paying off right now.
Oh no, Skeptify just killed his teammate and then ran in, not waiting for his shields, not trying to make a play, just kind of just giving up that death. Not smart at all. I know exactly what you're saying, though. It's like you think Heart of Cards are about to take over, but it's almost like they kind of get baited by the other team because they just run into the base and they lose their fights. They don't get any cleanups, and Flyers are just doing a good job at outplaying Heart of Cards, and they're pulling away with little kills here and there, and now they only need 6 to win this game. The OS, though, might come into play here if it slows down just a little bit. It could be coming up any moment. Yeah, you see that they're just holding position at the moment, and this is going to be a huge fight. This is going to be a big moment. If Heart of Cards can grab this, get it full, they could make a comeback.
Onboard burned it. Onboard burned the overshield. It's off the map. And now you see Super CC. He's just looking for one-shots. Oh my god, if he kills Name, no. Okay, Septify found the trade on the other one-shot. Name eventually does get the trade out, but at this point, it's too little, too late from this Heart of the Cards roster. Only 1 kill left, and there's a player trapped in the back of red base. 3 wolves looking to take him out. Flying forward. Septify eventually finds Name. And honestly, I mean, if Heart of the Cards get no overshields, right, they controlled the overshield aptly that entire game, right? They burned the first one and they burned the last one, and they got control of the other 3. And honestly, if they didn't get those, I don't think that game's close whatsoever. I mean, that's absolutely surprising because we saw huge moments from the Heart of the Cards roster, but they couldn't translate it into a lead whatsoever. 17 assists from Commonly. Oh my God.
Jesus. Yeah, look at the damage. 2,400 out of him, most on his team. Ryan Noob on the other side, though, doing a great job. I think Envor really made the play, though, at the end of the game. Had that OS gone in favor of Heart of Cards, I could have seen a 5-kill swing easily. And a tied game, and this could be a 2-0 series, which, I mean, that's hard to come back from. So hats off to that play from Envor. Envor, what's that?
So I love this. I love how you just see 3 players. Like, Dave is just trapped in the back of red base. They spawn at car. You just see the 3 outlines making basically a line.
I know.
No challenge, and it's always fun to see.
The pack is coming after you. They've scented you out. They've smelled you, and you are not going to live in that situation. I mean, every Halo player alive knows exactly that feeling where you're like, well, I'm pretty much screwed.
Well, here we go. Game 3. We're on Eden Strongholds, and we see the overshield going in favor of Commonly as he went for that fast strat. You don't see it that often in the pros just because they know it's so deadly just to put yourself vulnerable to pistols. He's able to get away with it and find a kill on Ryan, who was trying to stay alive. Envor gets the boom booms to work with, and this is looking all in favor of Flyers early on. They got their control of Blue Bend, and now they have the rockets to take them out of red, and that's going to be the first one on name.
Yeah, excellent execution. Like I said last game, Envor. Oh my God!
Oh, let's
go! The plays, baby. Envor is a playmaker. I love this guy so much. Every time he is on the screen, he is making something happen. I don't want to say he's flashy. Like, yes, he's flashy, but he's flashy by default. He just makes insane things happen, and it's just fun to watch. But he really isn't. He's very disciplined. He's a good slayer all around. He can really do it all. I'm loving this guy. This game is really looking bad for Heart of Cards. Heart of Cards need to start doing some slaying and doing it now.
This honestly, it might be a little bold of me to say, but this is looking like 100-0 with how Flyers are playing. They're playing this literally textbook. They're putting them on perfect cycles. They're setting up perfect spawn traps. They're getting kills. And honestly, I don't see Heart of the Cards getting out of this anytime soon. They have to find a break, and Blue Bend is going to be their next option. But Super CC is already in position to get damaged, and luckily Rain is there to stop the terror. And there we go. They get a base, but it's not going to be for long as they all go down. There's last players alive over at the catwalk, but they're just going to get tower, right? And they're going to push in for that tower cat, and they're not going to be able to get it. And Septify shouldn't have a problem getting this Blue Bend unless this player is able to tail him. Oh, massive win from Rain right there. I thought the nade was going to do it for Septify, but this is looking like a potential 2-cap for Heart of the Cards if they can find the kills.
I really liked Envor's strategy right there. He saw his entire team and where they were set up, and he immediately said, okay, this is where I need to be. He grabbed the light rifle, and he was set up outside to block spawns towards red door, making sure that nobody could be inside red base. Just playing very... Wait a minute. That was an unfortunate beatdown. That beatdown looked good to go. He had to use that rocket. That's going to be a huge swing for Heart of Cards.
But Envor has the rockets back, so they're able to get the rockets basically right away. And it's Envor with the camouflage. He finds one, but gets immediately traded out. Name with that little extra bit of health is going to allow him to get the catwalk for his team, and they finally get points on the board. But I mean, 54 unanswered points is a lot to deal with. They have a mountain to climb. The question is, how do they get their momentum? Where is the break? Where is this momentum gonna come from?
Name going to just try to get some people damaged out here. He needs to get his teammates flying. I know they're not the Flyers, but they need to be flying right now because the Flyers are putting so much darn pressure on this team. They're finally getting some points up. Spartan going to be taken down. The pack is hunting, and they are taking down each player one by one on Heart of Cards. You see Name does get a kill, though. Name has been getting some good opening kills. He's been a very good, you want to say an entry fragger, so to speak. Like, he's been picking up the first kills or the first bloods a lot in the past few games that we've witnessed, which is a good thing to see out of the newcomer. You always want to have that guy that's being able to open up the map. Super CC, big double kill right now. That's going to allow them to get a little bit more control. over at security. Name just trying to put some shots in across the map. This is all very, very, very good. If you're a Flyers fan, Flyers are looking much better than that game one. That game one, I almost lost all hope immediately, but this is a much better looking team.
And this is the unique thing about Flyers, right? They play Eden Strongholds a little bit different from everyone else, where they don't really value the blue bend as much as Rain burns that overshield. We'll see who gets the camouflage. But you'll see that if they lose blue bend and catwalk, they're perfectly content with just staying in red base, keeping a player in that window, and having a laser of an angle with the LR into that catwalk, and then eventually pushing players into the tower to break it out. That's what they do to get the control back. But now red is in a precarious spot. They have a player from Heart of the Cards that's back there, and Rain needs to win another critical one-on-one at the blue door. He's taking damage. Shoe players come forward. The trades don't come in. Blue bend back into the favor of Flyers, and look, they could potentially get a third on Spartan. Spartan gonna eventually find the kill, but he should get traded out, as a player should just push forward and get him. Yep, Septify with that kill. And then honestly, Flyers just looking great at the moment, as Envor has another critical fight that he's going to win with the help of Commonly, and this is looking so hard for Heart of the Cards to break out of.
Yeah, a lot of pivs being won right now. Back and forth we go. I'm glad that it wasn't 100-0 like you'd predicted. I would have hated to have seen that, just because that would have just shut them down for the next game. The next game would have been so much harder to come back from. But right now, we're definitely seeing a fight. Heart of the Cards definitely need to grab that, but no, this sneaky player from behind, able to get an easy kill. CC's going to be blocking these spawns, just like you said. This is how they set up on this map and make it happen.
Yeah, once again, I mean, if you're going into that red base versus Flyers, you have to clear the actual base. They love to sit in this window and just watch catwalk, because it's so hard just to stay in there. You have to basically get first shots and then just keep them back and at bay. But look at Super CC just valuing his life as much as possible. And if they don't look, oh, perfect timing from that player in red nest, but not enough. Septify comes in from behind. He gets the reset. A trip cap won't be in effect. And look at all the players from Heart of the Cards are basically at that catwalk. So if this fight goes in favor of Flyers, they're going to be back on their back foot once again. But it looks like they're stabilizing out for now. Overshield and camouflage playing up now.
Yeah, this could be it right here. This OS Rockets could make a difference. Never mind. Spartan with a huge play, big back smack, and now the camo in the hands of Rain. Oh man, this is tremendous. This is exactly what they needed. But Rain, you can't go for the trade. What? Oh no.
Right, and with they still are scoring now, so it's not devastating, right? That loss does hurt quite a bit, but they can still stabilize and get a tied position basically where they're scoring, and that's what happens, right? They have the top position, but they're not really able to push forward, so they're really just having to maintain. And what we see often on strongholds is that maintaining is usually not a recipe for success, right? Because all it takes is one error for you to start losing a hill. As Envor trying to stay alive at this blue alley is not able to do so. Super CC just chilling in the middle. And honestly, I'm surprised that Flyers hasn't opted to go for that blue cat, because it seems as if Heart of the Cards, they're just fighting super heavily from that tower side. And there was opportunities for Flyers to get back towards that blue bend and potentially try to get them out of that situation. Look at Ryan, right? He's aware that there's players in that back red base. He knows that he can't stay there, but he gets caught out on the rotation anyway, as blue bend is going in favor of Flyers at the moment.
Commonly with a good job at making sure he doesn't poke out, take any type of damage. He just wants to get the help on the objective, back up, bait this one out, play it as smart as possible. Like you said, they have a clear-cut strategy, and it works so darn well on this map. Heart of Cards just don't have an answer for it. They can't really do much against it. Commonly playing so smart. Every little angle he grabs, he's not really putting himself too far out there. He's taking as little damage as possible. He is playing so perfect. This is perfect Halo right now. You see how he's hugging the ledge, and he's just poking out a little bit to help his team. Now he's just going to get out of that fight, but there's 3 there, and they take over that stronghold. This is going to be it right here. They need to play perfect. There cannot be a single mess up.
Rain got the overshield. I thought Super CC would for sure get it with those rockets. Unfortunately, the overshield does go in favor of this Heart of the Cards roster, and this is looking scary for Flyers, right? You gave up both. The overshield's been neutralized, like Rain died. Oh no, that nade from Camo. And you see 3 players from Flyers. They're just trying to get to blue base. Sparty needs to get to red nest and start capping that with this camouflage. Instead, he's going to opt to go for this slay, not letting Hammy get away. and he's going to find it, and now he's going to be able to push into red nest. The fight over at blue bend does go in favor of Flyers, but because of this rotation, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. They should be able to get this red nest in time. The question is, where do the next slays come from? Because now, Heart of the Cards, they can't afford to go 3 or 4 down anymore.
A little update that's happening right now is BBB Baba Booey taking on Inconceivable neck and neck right now in the stronghold. So that's pretty good to see that Baba Booey's putting up some big fights against the biggest teams. I don't expect them to win, but the fact that they're taking games off Sentinels and they're putting up a good fight against Inconceivable is just crazy. But let's get back to this. This is getting really, really bad right now, Gary.
No, I mean, commonly basically has to get in his base, and he has. This is the red window, right? The red window so deadly. Now Ryan Noob has to win at red nest. You see all the players from Flyers getting in there. Can they get it in time? I think they can. Right, they got it in time. It's this game. They can't get it. Oh no, that was Ryan Noob's responsibility. He couldn't stop them. He just needed to throw his life in there, and he opted to stay back and slay, and it cost him at the last second.
No.
Oh my, that opening start from Flyers just proves to be too strong, and they can't break out. Spartan trying to put the team on his back at 24-17 that game.
Dude.
But man, just a devastating start from Flyers makes the comeback not possible. I mean, honestly,
That almost happened, though. That almost happened.
So close. But that's why your starts are so important. You can't rely on the comeback to make things happen. I mean, if they have more time, all they need is more time. They absolutely reslay into that red nest if they have another couple ticks to work with. Unfortunately, it was at 99 and they can't recapture. And look at Ryan, he's playing back, but there's no one on his team that can get there in time. And when he opts to challenge, it's too late. As you see, like if they have, let's say, 95 points, it's no problem because they just capture reslay. But when you get to that thin edge, that razor edge towards the end where it's 99-99, you can't afford to go down, and that's what happens. Oh God, Super CC, I forgot about that. Nasty
Look at the
defense, man.
lead, though. They had such a massive lead. Flyers were up. I think it was like 60 to like not even. I don't even think they hit like 15 or 20.
54-0. I mean, it was 54-0 at one point, right?
54 to yeah, dude. Like that's just insane. So Heart of the Cards getting a little bit more fight in them. 100-99 stronghold game. Insane. Like I said, this matchup is just too close to call. I could definitely see this right here being Heart of the Cards getting angry.
This overshield going in favor of Ryan Noob. He's able to put it on the body, and he has a one-on-one with Super CC. He'll eventually come out on top, but the nades come through. Septify able to take off his shields at the cost of his life, and ball early going in favor of Ryan Noob. He's able to get back here, but I don't think they actually have control of this red base yet. No one, you see there's a player over at that plat, and look at them. They're all weak, and they're all trapped at this tac mag. The collapse is going to come in relatively soon. The question is, can they survive it?
Ryan's doing a great job with the objective. I mean, he is one of the smartest Halo players we have. Look at that. He is knowing exactly where to go, and he gets the kill on a Commonly with the ball. Commonly just runs in, gets smacked down, and the time is still ticking. Heart of the Cards starting this one off strong. Man, that was so smart by Ryan Noob, going everywhere he was going. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the play ball. I'm sure he wanted to get that, but he took the kill onto Commonly instead, which is fine.
Right, and I mean, like you said, he played it so smart. We were talking about how they didn't have control of red base, and he knew it, right? He didn't try to push into that basement. He didn't try to get back into red base. He stayed at that door so he could have a quick exit, and he relied on his teammates' slaying ability to allow him to keep that ball alive in bottom mid. Unfortunately, the play didn't go off, but I mean, that was 30 seconds of unanswered time, 21 seconds of time answered back for Flyers. They're able to get their ball off this time, and they're finding kills, and this should be a re-pick up. Look at that, 4 go down temporarily for Heart of the Cards, and that's going to be another chunk of time in favor of this Flyers roster. Beautiful job from the Flyers roster to play, reslay, and reposition.
Yeah, and they're doing a really good job of rotating the ball between players. Players that are full shields on ball will give it to a player that's weak, and they'll go back into the slaying, and then they'll switch back. And that's a really important thing that you got to note about Oddball is that communication. It's like, hey, I'm full shields. I'm not taking any damage with the ball. If we're in a good setup, then I'm going to drop the ball, let you have it while you regain your shields. And a lot of people forget about that. You don't see it too often with teams. You will see it very disciplined oddball gameplay from Sentinels. I believe Sentinels are just incredible at that, especially when Lethal was playing. Lethal was very good about that, making sure to check on people if they're weak or not and when to drop the ball. That's just always a massive thing. Flyers are doing a great job commonly with this OS. Not really putting it to perfect use. I would like to see him flying a little bit more, but he's just waiting for this call out from this player to help him out. Listening to the communication, that's always a factor that you've got to take into account. But once again, Ryan Noob just doing the great rotations with the ball. He knows 3 players are behind him, and he's just going to make these little nice jumps and say, come and get me, boys.
Yeah, I mean, drops the ball off right away to try to reslay out and, basically gets a player one shot at that. But as all that goes down, 3 fall for Heart of the Cards. And we're going to see another pickup from Flyers. So Flyers clearly the better team when it comes to that ball being played and slaying back out, getting the ball back into their position. And if they just keep making sure that they get their chunk of time, they play the ball, and then they get ready for the next play, I think they'll be in a good spot as we see a ball once again played as we're tied up at the nicest number of them all, 69 all, as we're rapidly approaching the middle game.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 69-69. Come on. This is great. This is awesome. Both teams are just, they couldn't be any closer. I'm loving this to death. We've got updates from the not-so-close games, though. Baba Booey gets 3-0'd, and C9 beats Force in Game 1. So very predictable outcomes over there on the other side of groups. But right now, this honestly is the one. I'm so happy that we got to get this one because this is really the one I was wanting to see the outcome of the most because it just makes the matchups so much more important on the other side when we get down to the wire. But, ooh, Spartan just got a massive double kill. Ryan, who picks up the OS. This is going to be a huge chunk of time if they can get some controls, get these slays fast enough. Name does a good job picking up 1. And now Ryan Noob's going to be in good position to be that blocker for the oddball player.
Yeah, Overshow making a big difference here as he's going to land a perfect 5 shots. As another player out, man, he's playing a dangerous game trying to challenge out from that ledge, right? He's thinking about jumping out, and if he misclicks, if he doesn't have his movement on point, he would just fall straight off that map. Instead, he's going to opt to watch the underneath flank, and he's doing a wonderful job at it. 2 are going to coordinate their push, though, and that should be the end of Ryan Noob's life as he's going to fall. Rain needs just to play this ball off the map. He does, as 3 once again go down, a potential 4. Yep, 4 down for a moment, but because of that play, they're going to be able to at least try to slay them out before that ball gets too far. Spartan puts down damage, but it's not enough to keep that ball away from Flyers. Super CC raking up some time as they're going to be trying to, I mean, basically the theme of the game, right? Flyers, they claw themselves back into the game because they're good on the retakes. They get the ball back once again, they get their chunk of time, but they need to be able to hold the setups better because every single time it feels as if Heart of the Cards break their setup relatively easily, while Flyers has been struggling on getting through that breakup and stopping the time from Heart of the Cards.
I really like what that player did top middle. There's not too much area that you can stay alive. I mean, you're basically gonna get melted no matter where you go. But that player was able to roll the ball to his teammate and stay alive top middle behind the wall. So very, very smart decision making happened on both teams. Making sure to stay alive in those crucial areas is really what's making the difference for Flyers and keeping them in this game.
Yes, the ball. I mean, Overshow going to be playing an impact soon as we see Septify able to put it on his body. Though last time commonly got it, and it really didn't make a big difference for this roster. And we're seeing kind of the same. The Overshield basically getting burned off right away. Ryan who plays the ball. And once again, man, every time that ball is played, it is literally 4 down for Heart of the Cards every time. They are not able to stabilize out of the play position. They can't find the pivotal kills, but they got a favorable spawn. You see them all just flying in. Septify needs to get the play position fast. Can he get it off? Yeah, off it goes. Oh my god. I mean, you saw all those players from Heart of the Cards. They spawned very close to that ball and they started flying right away.
Extra range with this pistol, gonna put some extra damage down. Now Name is going to be set up, just trying to get this cut off, trying to find these players that are making the plays over towards the ball. Ball's gonna get taken down though, and Name was not really in the best of positions, but there's not much he could do. If he got too aggressive, he would have got taken down. Then he gets pinched. and taken down. So very good plays from Flyers. Skeptify is going to bring the ball to a player that just spawned, though. That was very unfortunate. He already checked that room. He cleared it. He got the ball and brought it back, but the players were already there spawning. So not much you can do in hindsight. Probably just need to really focus on your teammates' communication and be like, guys, where can I go? Where are you guys set up at? But in the heat of the moment, that's tough, and it looks like Heart of the Cards are set up for a good chunk of time. But no, they catch the ball.
Oh my God, Super CC caught the ball out of midair. He's gonna be able to get his chunk of time, but I mean, they're basically at the point where they cannot afford to lose a fight. They have to get the balls played, and they have to survive when they play the balls. Well, look at this. They're opting to reslay out. Oh no, Super CC caught out in a precarious spot, commonly keeping him alive for now. Alive he stays. Super CC able to grab the ball once again, and all the Heart of Cards go down for the time being. Overshield coming back up soon, though, and we see Heart of the Cards is there. But Ryan New burns commonly a critical double kill, and Super CC still getting time. Another one falls down. A complete collapse of the situation from this Heart of the Cards roster. Septify finds another kill, but he needs to get away. He's stuck between two players. Play this ball, get in the milk spot, do what you can, and that's exactly what he does. That ball going off the map, and a player trying to catch it. I believe that was Ryan New trying to keep it on, cannot do so. He's gonna fall off as well. But there we go. Commonly in the crew cannot afford to let this team get away with the ball whatsoever. Only 9 seconds necessary for Heart of the Cards to win.
Major pivs being won right now by both teams. This team, Flyers, looking to come back into it. Heart of the Cards looking to close it out. And this is going to be massive if Flyers can get away. They don't. Envor gets taken down. Sparty takes down Skeptify, and Name just needs 9 seconds.
Oh, beautiful nade, beautiful nade. Can he stay alive? No, he cannot. Ball goes down, and that was so dangerous, right? Name knew that they were going to spawn in that base once again. He tried to stop it, but did not have the timing, and the ball is played once again. They're 2 seconds closer to ending this game, though. Only 7 seconds necessary for Heart of the Cards. Envor finds a big kill in between two players, and it actually stays alive. Name at that platform, and they're going to be able to get the ball, but not for long. Once again, played immediately. 2 go down for Heart of the Cards, potentially 3 as Ryan Noob finds 1. Septify eventually finds the trade out, but because of that position from the player on the opposite plat, Ryan Noob stopping them from being able to pick up the ball.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes left. The OS about to be up, and there's only 4 seconds that Heart of the Cards need to end this one. So that's why you're seeing this slowdown. There's so many options. There's so many things that both teams can do to win this game. And Ryan Noob, he's going to get the opening kill, which is massive. Skeptify going to go in for a big... Oh my God, he should have won that fight.
With this, and that's a beautiful milk from Ryan Noob to get the amount of time needed. And we're going to a game number 5 between these two rosters.
Nice.
Honestly, so close to each other when it comes to skill.
Dude.
As we're going to see these guys go to game 5, man. Beautiful ball time from Ryan Noob. I mean, we saw him make critical rotations. That opening time, really the big difference. I mean, they won by that 30 seconds, really, that Ryan Noob was able to milk for.
He had the most kills, the most ball time. He had second most assists. The guy was putting up tons of damage, 3,000 damage. The guy was doing it all. He had the highest accuracy. Ryan Noob is on one today, man.
Oh my God. I mean, talk about critical plays. I mean, he's the reason they won. I mean, no one else was lighting up the kill feed. No one else was making the ball plays that he was. And it makes a big difference in the game as we're seeing some highlights play on the screen. But what is our 5th game, 90? Was it Truth? I'm trying to remember what the 5th game was supposed to
Plaza.
be. Plaza. Ooh. Man, we got a great rotation in. I mean, you know, if we replace Fissure for Echelon there, that'd be like my ideal best of 5. I love all these maps that we played thus far, but Plaza, sniper rifle. You got 2 players on each side that you do not want to see the sniper rifle in their hands. You got to stop Spartan from grabbing it, and you have to stop Envor. Who will win the sniper battle? We will see as Spartan gets it right away, and he's pushing. He's flying forward.
Dude, I love Spartan's ability, but I think one of the scariest snipers in the game is Rain. When Rain pops off, it's just another level of scary. I mean, the guy just is nutty good with it. I mean, he was one of the only players that could really shut down Shotzi and Renegade back in the day. He could out-snipe them no problem. So I mean, he's just a god with that rifle. But what I'm looking for is not Envor. I'm looking at Skeptify, because I want to see this guy just pop off. Like, Skeptify is that new talent that everybody's talking about. In the 2v2 scene, he's like one of the best individually. He beats some of the top talent like Bound and Renegade, and I want to be able to see him just come to life here in 4s in a game 5 when it just matters so much.
Look at that huge reversal medal from I believe that was Name over in that loop. Spartan eventually finds his sniper rifle once again and was off the map for a little bit of time, but he's yet to really hit a critical shot with it. As Sepify eventually does go down, Rain should get traded out right away. Spartan hits another body, but cannot get the kill. That player trying his best to stay alive. Stay alive he does, and the last little bit of sniper rifle is gone. Spartan, I mean, he was able to basically take it away from Flyers, but not really able to do much with it with the first rotation of sniper shots.
Envor landing excellent shots, keeping away from Name. Does not want to take a trade right now when you're trying to come back into this one. Very smart job. He was also able to get a kill onto Spartan, so just playing his life, able to get some easy kills while staying aggressive. And now the game slows down just a little bit because of the positioning. Oh man, that player was not sneaky enough. Envor gets the perfect onto him. Commonly making the play over here for the OS. He's going to miss his jump though. That might have been crucial. Not going to be in much of a position right now to do much about it. He's just going to hang out, wait for his team to maybe get some assists, but they're not able to do so. So very good win here from Heart of Cards to be able to secure this OS.
Yeah, that overshield going to be able probably to get them that bit of a lead that they've been needing. That perfectly placed nade, they're going to take off most of that overshield. Another great placed nade is going to take off the rest, and that player is living. Name trying to find the final shot. Cannot do so. Spartan eventually bails him out with a well-placed nade. But my God, Name, you got to finish your kills.
Dude, I think I got to give it more to Commonly right there, because, I mean, he didn't have any help. Name was pretty much by himself, and he had a long ways to go to get to that player. He did hit his shots, but not enough. It was just Commonly's ability to outmaneuver him. Hats off to Commonly, really playing extraordinary today. Great shots out of him. Not going to be able to finish Spartan, though. Spartan is just grabbing all the kills, and now we finally see it. Rain with the long rifle. Let's see if he can just take it home here. But 2 immediately go down on his team. He's the last one left alive. He's going to be relying on death cams, and he's just going to be listening to his teammates. One teammate just said, hey, he's going up top yellow. He was ready and locked and loaded for it. That shot looked like it almost went through the wall. He is lasered. Excellent no-scope, but he gets taken down from the flank.
That player in blue, right? You have to clear your blue base if you're gonna pick up the sniper rifle and play the S4. It's your weakest spot, that blue window, and that's where eventually Rain gets punished. But Ryan Noob with the sniper rifle now, he wastes 1 shot, and there you go. You saw the spawn, and this is okay. Rain gets that kill. That could have been a very dangerous spot for Ryan Noob when you have players at both the LR and blue, and you're trapped in nest. Even with the sniper rifle, it can be so hard to break out of. But he should get players on rotation, making players weak. 3 players trapped in that flowers, and now Ryan Noob can just watch the crosses he drops and is already on the flank. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but if the kills go in their favor, the kills go in their favor. Envor able to eventually find that kill. A lead though for Heart of the Cards that could be too much for this Flyers roster to come back from, as overshield once again in the hands of Spartan.
I don't know if I like it. I would have liked, Ryan Noob to just hold down those spawns at lift, make sure they don't spawn there, maybe back up, manipulate their spawns a little bit better. But hey, look at this, 3 down. It's hard to second guess those plays because it all worked out at the end, like you said. But the sniper could have held down that lane, no problem. But it doesn't matter because Spartan has the OS, and he is putting it to good use here. Makes 2 players extremely weak and is able to set Ryan Noob up for the double. So this team is just looking to end it now. They are flying at Flyers, and they're doing a darn good job at hitting all of their shots, getting their cleanups, and making sure to maneuver around the map effectively. Spartan, he doesn't care. He's like, I'm just full sending, and he gets baited out and gets taken down by Flyers. It looks like they're just kind of letting themselves go now, though. Uh-oh, that would be scary. They need to get themselves back in order here. I mean, it is a 15-kill swing, which is comfortable, but at the same time, this team is fully capable of that kind of comeback.
Yeah, that was a 10-1 run for that Heart of the Cards roster. Flyers able to finally start getting some kills, but I mean, at this point, you only have 7 to afford, and you're going to have to play essentially perfect from here on out. Can't afford any sort of trade outs. Have to just win your fights. Onboard finds 1. Name trying his best to stay alive. 2 go down. He has a critical one-on-one fight, and that one-on-one eventually goes in favor of Spartan as he backs the other player down. 6 kills necessary now. Stake off the table at least for this Flyers roster, but I just cannot see them getting back into it. But if they do, it's going to be because of the sniper rifle that Super CC just picked up.
Over on the other side, C9 is going to be up 2-0 in their series against Force. And on the mainstream, Sentinels wins their matchup against KCP. So there was a lot of games in that one that was domination as well. So Sentinels are just looking great. And
Look at
it looks
this.
like
They have the trap. They have a trap. They have a trap towards blue. Oh, Super CC. So are they trying to block blue to force a nest spawn? I don't know how I feel about it. Like, he had him basically trapped over at blue.
Yeah. But at the same time, you cannot give up deaths at all. You can't give up any deaths. So they have to play this one different. They've got to make sure they are manipulating that from happening. They can't let anybody go underneath and get easy kills, commonly with a big double kill, but it is way too late. No way that they're going to be able to make this happen. Heart of Cards are playing super smart. They're playing conservative. They're playing tight. They're playing together. And they're going to make sure that this does not slip through their fingers, because this is a huge win for them. Just, I mean, this is excellent. I mean, I don't think many people had predicted that Heart of Cards were going to win this. I knew that it was going to be super, super close. But, yeah, looking in the past, Flyers were the winners in this one. But not today.
Yeah, look at this. Name pushes. Oh, man, Name gets caught out. I mean, I want to see Heart of the Cards push it away. It feels as if they've been so close to finishing this game for so long. A player made one shot at driveway, and that player should get caught out. I can't imagine that player staying alive. But it looks like they're just trying to all get together and basically find a player that's weak and eventually push them out. But man, Heart of the Cards, man, they just finish your fight, finish your food, stop playing around with it. 3 players here. Spartan does go down, and now it's a one-on-one for Ryan Noob. He needs to win it. Oh, I didn't think he got that. I didn't think he got that kill, man. Oh, it's so unfortunate. I think.
Good Lord. They were down 15, 20? They were down by a lot.
Yeah, like that was almost a comeback. It's just that mid game was devastating for Flyers. God, man,
that is a beautiful, beautiful stat line. Look at that, 15, 15, and 8. You couldn't have a more beautiful Slayer stat line. I mean, 3,000 damage. Name took that game. He took it over, dude. Like he knew that this is his shot. He's like, this is the big day. Like, he showed up. Game 5 when it's all on the line, and this is like your big matchup, right? Like this, if you're matching up against Sentinels, like everybody kind of has that in their head. Like, Sentinels are the best. They're very hard to beat. You know, obviously they want to come in with that attitude that they're going to win the tournament. You know, all of these players need to do that. But at the same time, it's like they know that this is probably the most important, and this really is setting them up really good for having a good matchup next, having a much better attitude, and going into this one. Name just stepped it up, and God, that was awesome to see. Heart of Cards had a trouble closing it out, which makes me kind of worried, but at the end of the day, they got it done.
Yeah, I mean, getting it done is all you can ask for at the end of the day. But I mean, oh my God, I mean, great job by Ryan to get the trade out at the end, but I honestly thought that kill process, like, that kill doesn't get traded out, man. I don't know what we see. I don't know. I don't think Heart of the Cards finishes that game with how slow they were playing towards the end. But talk about a rookie stepping up, right? Like, Name, he's been to events, but this is really his first time getting like his real shot with 3 veterans, and he shows why you pick him up in the 5th game. And you can't ask for the new blood on your team to do anything better than that. That's a perfect game from him.
Yeah, now looking at the future for Flyers, you know, Flyers have got a tough matchup against KCP. You know, I mean, KCP is going to be down, right? Like, they got beaten by Sentinels, so their heads might not be in it as much. But then again, Flyers, they just had a loss as well. So Flyers and KCP really need to get back into it, because that momentum is so real on tournament day. You just play so much better once you start that win going, and it's like a snowball effect. The avalanche happens, and Heart of Cards are going to get that started right now. They're going to have that high off of this win, and they're going to go into their next 2 matchups looking good. That would be incredible if we could see a Heart of the Cards in the top 4. Because I feel like as far as championships go, we haven't seen the best out of Inconceivable in the past, and we have not seen the absolute best out of I can't say that because KCP did get second. They were in the grand finals last season, but usually they're not as consistent. They're not as Sentinels. They're not. They very much can be upset. We've seen it in the past, and I think a Heart of the Cards could definitely make that happen. What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Heart of the Cards there. I mean, it would be a great storyline for Spartan specifically, right? He gets dropped basically from that Inconceivable roster. He wants to get back into that top 4, and honestly, if he gets to that top 4, it would be because they beat KCP. So KCP would be the odd man out if they get there. I think that would probably match them up with Inconceivable straight out of the way in the top 4. I'd love to see it just to see the rematch between the two, but on the other